Can I use this bonus time to talk about how? Do you remember in the second season of The Bear when like Richie's dropping his daughter off and he's like, "I love you," and he's like, I love Taylor Swift too, but I just need a little break. My friends, that is where I am today.
Honey, Daddy loves you, but sometimes Daddy needs a break from Taylor Swift, and I said that yesterday on a trip to Tuscaloosa. So
I've been saying it today because I don't know if any of you knew this, but white women love Taylor Swift, and my wife is a white woman, and the only way she will listen to music is by listening to the same damn album 500 times in a row, and I'm losing my mind.
As a white woman, I'm offended. Don't lump us all together.
well,
We're not all on that train.
anytime we talk white women in general, Natalie is the exception, almost always. So.
Which really just means you guys are always wrong.
And she turned that around.
Yeah,
that
brutal.
I will accept. Hey, it's us. It's taking it down. Here are the hosts. We got. You just heard from her. It's Nightmare Natalie. We got. It's Halloween. Today's Halloween.
Today
That's
is
right. It's spooky.
You know, we record we record on Sunday, but today, viewers, Nightmare Natalie's with us. Afterlife Adam is there. You like that one, don't you?
I do like that one.
You're gonna think on that one.
I think we should all be thinking of the afterlife,
buddy. I don't think it stops up here. And then we got
thinking about it, or you think your consciousness
You think you just decompose?
I just study on it all the time like a goddamn teenager.
Well, you know.
And then we got Deathly Donovan.
Oh, hi.
Just
Donovan in the Deathly Hollows.
That's pretty good too. We got to change, hopefully for the good. The video will only be bonus content. So if you're watching this, the regular episode of the podcast is out there in podcast land, or you can stream it from the alabamatape.com, or you can even click on another video in YouTube, which has it, but it'll only have the episode image. Video.
Is this all because nobody could stop picking their nose for an hour and a half or however long it takes us to do a podcast?
It had a lot to do with nudity.
and I have apologized for that.
I say I only urinated during the one episode last week, and this change happens abruptly.
There were no children around.
It was like an episode. It was like a reenactment of The Naked Gun when Adam went to the bathroom. He didn't know his mic was on. And okay, but yes, if you enjoy the video version, or if it's got the content that you want, you can watch it. You can go to the audio for your, commute. We'll, of course, still have that. Your commute, your walk, your exercise, whatever. But if you have an opinion either way, let us know. Like if you would like to see one thing or the other. It's just something we're trying. We think it's a little for the better. We'll see. If I'm a little hoarse today, it's because I'm fresh off of last night's Dextaeens show, plus many other bands at Druid City Brewery in lovely
Our guy
Tuscaloosa.
went out last night.
Guy went out and stayed out, yeah. Did I sleep? It doesn't seem like it.
What time did they hit the parking lot, the stage?
About 11:45.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So honestly, for Dextaeens hours, early. And for everyone else's normal hours, bad. The first thing Sweet Dog, the drummer, says to me is, "Man, it's past my bedtime. I'm usually in bed at 8 watching Matlock."
I was going to say that feels very like Read the Room, guys. Like everybody at that event was probably real sleepy by 10:30.
We were amped. We were amped for them, though.
Amped, but you start extrapolating a little math. That place closed in 2003. So if you were there to relive memories from before 2003 and you were of drinking age then you probably like going to bed a little earlier now.
Talking, of course, about the Chukker, that was the event held at Druid City. It was a Chukker reunion, and atmosphere was fantastic. Kind, gentle souls all around. Lots of excuse me, pardon me, as they walk by. I mean, it's just lovely. You want to know the most fascinating thing about last night? Maybe
I do.
Top 3 fascinating. How many of the band members brought their kids who were of drinking age now?
Oh, Lord.
And you were just like, oh, it's been 13 years since I've seen you, and you've got a beer.
This is kind of how I felt when I went to go see Destroyer earlier this year. And I looked around and I was like, oh, shit. Everyone here is getting old, aren't they?
Yeah, don't count yourself in that.
No, there weren't a lot of young people in that audience, myself included.
That's funny. It's a digression from the event Blaine's talking about, but what bands manage to like continue grabbing new college kids or high school kids, and which ones are just kind of permanently on the iceberg, you know?
Right. There were several young college-age students there, and someone asked them, what are you doing here? Like, how do you know about the Dextaeens? Like, why would you come to this? And they said, they said something to the effect of, we've got the inside track, or we got the inside info. Like, somebody's keeping the flame alive. Barely.
Well, you would hope that if you study it all on the history of West Alabama music, they loom pretty darn large. So hopefully there's enough young kids still curious about what came from where they are from.
Hell of a show. Lots of energy. Sweet Dog played every show in double time, the fashion it's played on the record. I patted Sweet Dog on the back as I left, and it felt as though he stepped out of a pool. It was just like smack. It gave the wet smack.
Yeah.
Any standout songs, Blaine? Something you were real excited to hear?
Madeline, old cut, 87 Jetta, old cut. They opened with Teenager, and that they were really tight on it. They were cool. Ragged, but they were right. You know what I mean? John Smith would give looks to some of the guys like, y'all ain't, that's not where we need to go with this one. But there were smiles all around. Stellar time. Natalie was a good track. I've got a couple of short videos, maybe 4, that I will post on YouTube for the Alabama Take. They're tiny. They're 20 seconds. I just want to get the feel of what it was like, and I'll post those, and there will be a lot better videos that will crop up, probably from Druid City itself somehow or another, or Bob Baker. He was holding down the live stream. I don't know if he captured it to, like more than live stream. What would you call that? Just like a regular video, but
archiving it, maybe.
Archive. Thank you. That's it. So
I hadn't been to a thriving event at Druid City until this past Thursday when we were there.
Speaking of, I was about to bring it up. Yeah,
it was just nice to see them doing well. And we kind of caught, because it was Thursday, and school is out down there, so you would think a lot of university folks are out of town. But I told them when I pulled across Parkview parking lot and I could see the old storefront was all dark and there was nothing going on outside. I had a little twinge of sadness, but then a second later I could see the new location, and they had a bunch of folks out there, and even like some young families were inside eating dinner and hanging out, and it was just a really
cool.
It felt vivacious is the wrong word to describe. There's just a lot going on.
It felt like a keeper of the flame, right?
Yeah.
You said everybody's doing well, or they're doing well. Well, I would say around 1 o'clock, Bo Hicks was not doing so well.
No.
That's a story for another day.
Well, the man's birthday was now 4 days ago, and he had tried to organize that had organized that whole thing.
Yeah, with the help of Matt Patton, I think had a huge hand in a lot of that stuff too. So, but they got it together.
That release valve was going to get tripped at some point.
They had it together. It was a great show. I hate it. You guys couldn't be there. There were a few notable absences, but it was great. It was great to see everybody. Amazing that they got us all in one spot one more time. I tried to take a picture with almost everybody that I used to hang out with or knew pretty well, and I kept telling everyone, I kept using the same joke. I said, there's going to be in a photo album on Facebook that's called You Ain't Dead Yet. So look for that. Okay, let's jump in with some TV talk. That's what we do here most of the time. Quick thoughts on the challenge and the beginning of its 39th season.
I have a thought. I saw a commercial for it on CBS for the first time.
And?
During football.
And you wanted to watch it, right?
I still have trouble wrapping my mind around it, I think.
I love that you watched 1 or 2 episodes of a season about 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
That's good. The challenge is back for its 39th season. They're going to crown a new champion because everyone, while not a rookie, they aren't a champion at all. I think the most experience is 3 or 4 seasons with Big T. She's got, 3 seasons? And we have episode 1, but if you watched episode 0, they're starting to do that a lot more these days. I'm interested to hear what you think in general about episode 0. Is that necessary? Do you like it? Does it add something to it? Start there.
We didn't watch it.
Which is ironic because I was going to say I love the pre-season shows where you kind of get the lay of the land, but yeah, we missed it this time.
Yeah,
I think probably because the Challenge USA was still finishing up. We kind of had our content, and then a few days later, it seemed like it was time for the real deal.
Wouldn't have hurt them to put a 2-week bumper in between those, I think.
Might have hurt me.
You would have wanted it?
I was ready. I was ready for episode 1.
I just imagine Adam is just ripping up lines of the challenge from a bathroom stall here.
Yeah,
he's just
pretty much
snorting it.
He's just cranking it out. Episode 0 I found it to be helpful. I really did, because some of these people I didn't quite know. They aren't rookies, but they may be from another show or have done some other things. So you can't really say rookie, but you can't say veteran. And what they did is they put them on the stage and acted as if TJ was going to come walking out and tell them, here's what we're going to do. This is the pit where we'll do eliminations, blah, blah, blah. And instead, they just tricked them and let the cameras roll. And they stood there for it seemed like a while, but maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And they kept saying, where's TJ? Is this a trick? What are we doing? And then a couple of them got the bravery to walk down into the sand and see what the deal was. And they had a little mini daily team challenge. And that just led to them opening boxes of food and sleep gear and lots of champagne.
I was about to say, when did they roll out the booze card? Because we saw the aftermath of that in episode 1.
You did, right. So you needed some context to that. I found episode 0 to be good at an introduction of some of these faces I wouldn't have recognized, but also a nice little setup to bleed into episode 1 officially. You don't need a lot of context for episode 1, but it helped. It's kind of like college football's week 0. You know, if you didn't watch any games, you'll get the idea.
Wait, you said it's like college football week 0.
Yeah.
You're telling me they shipped one of these people over to Ireland to play Navy?
I'm telling you that they have shipped people from the UK to play in this. Absolutely.
It's
Melissa,
like a reverse week 0.
Natalie, give me your thoughts on episode 1. Let's dive into that one.
I think it's gonna be a good season. The setup is gonna be interesting. I think we have a good cast of characters. Didn't love that they picked on Big T immediately. She was right. All the girls should have voted for the boys. I mean, how far can we get into this? I think it was a good episode.
No, do as much as you want. I'm fine with that. Adam raved in a brief message that he was happy for this cast, that you thought it was a pretty stacked, I think that was your word, stacked cast.
Yeah, I think they've done this in the past with like Invasion of the Champs, and you kind of knew the whole time that the champions were coming to actually compete and not just be, it appears this year they're kind of just roadblocks in the eliminations, right? But there were a few like old school people in that season who had just never gotten through. Like, if they were to do that same format again now, maybe Corey would be in the mix or something like that. But it's really just all fresh faces, and they look pretty, there's a lot of likable from Olivia and Horacio on down, kind of likable folks. Like I've completely forgotten about Ed. Guys like that who,
Well,
when they came across the screen, I thought, oh, this will be good.
Ed's got also a little more yoked than he was last time.
He
He was
is.
pretty big last time, wasn't
He
he?
was pretty big last time, but if you follow him on Instagram, you can see a little bit of the transformation. It's intense. It makes me tired just looking at him.
I loved the challenge too this week. The idea of all of them having to work together. I told Nat, it reminded me again of, I guess I keep bringing up Invasions because that would be the closest thing that they've done to this.
And they bring it up, I think, in episode 0, by the way. Some of them.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think so.
There was a twist on that. It was a trick, but we were in on the trick the whole time as the audience. It's just they didn't know that the champions were coming. And they did something in the first one where it was kind of similar, but you immediately saw who was working with who and what alliances were forming. And I thought this was a clever way to do that again, to, test who's going to step up and then immediately get heat for it. And yeah, I thought it was good.
They wanted to point the blame at the ladies for not finishing the poll, where you stick the poll in and it spells the word, but they didn't get it finished in the time needed or given. Is that a fair assumption at all? Do you blame anybody? It's just a team thing. What do you think about that, Natalie?
I mean, yes, you could blame a person or two, but really there's not like a specific person. Somebody should have stepped up, taken the lead and done the job or gotten everybody organized. But as soon as it turned into like Battle of the Sexes,
yeah, that
was like reminiscent of some really like toxic seasons. And I didn't love that. That's why I'm kind of hoping going forward, having the division of, boys are strong, girls need to be smart, kind of a deal. Like it was really, I didn't love it, but I liked that it was kind of called out, and the girls were like, well, we're going to try or at least Big T, all hell Big T, was like, we can't take this, we can't let them do this, let's throw a boy in. But yeah, I didn't love how that played out, but I wasn't surprised by it either. I just had wished, I guess, that as a culture we were smarter than that.
Well, I mean, it was immediately reminded me of those old seasons too, where they were on teams and they were attempting to get the girls eliminated the whole time so that they could run the final as fast as possible. And by their estimation, that was their logic. But yeah, I mean, the one guy who like stepped up and just said like, I've been in the military, I know how to like climb this wall as a team. Him almost getting all the flack would have also been super unfair because he didn't claim anything about the puzzle.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is what's going to happen with the one winner, right? That's the result of, we're only having one winner. We're not having a male-female winner.
Right.
Despite second and third place getting a chunk of change.
It'll be interesting if, like Natalie's saying, if they find a way to enforce guys' elimination weeks and girl elimination weeks, because one getting on a roll of just eliminating the other would be I don't know how do they slow that down.
Well, I mean, at some point a guy's got to really cue in and be like, tap into some of that sexist thinking and think, I actually only want to run this final with girls because I'll definitely beat girls. We got to get somebody on that board.
Yeah.
Even though that's stupid too.
I'll call
considering that Jenny beat the shit out of Bananas.
Jenny's amazing.
Jenny beat him so bad that they haven't had her back on.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good point. I'm going to call out a few names. Feel free to add to the list, but these are just a few that stood out to me for various reasons. Berna, she got some screen time. Not likable to the other castmates, but what did you think about her during this episode?
I remember kind of rooting for her early on last year because anybody like, Jay is like a climber and there's other people who are kind of more like body weight strength strong, and I always root for them. And she was one with all the acrobatic stuff, but I remember her being super annoying and kind of like pity party toxic last year. And man, she was annoying this time.
They should have listened to her though. Why does the voice goes to the military guy of getting a guy over a wall? When if you listen to the acrobat, I bet she probably has a pretty efficient way to do it as well.
Maybe, but it's also different.
At least in a way that guys and girls could have been going over the wall at the same time instead of this one person at a time. Had more people up on the top get the thing done.
My only pushback on that would be like, there's some big boys there that acrobat theory would not work on, like your Eds and your Chaunceys and those kind of guys.
Sure, but I'm saying if you could have two people going over the top at the same time.
Yeah.
Because some of the lighter folks are doing Berna's way.
Yeah, fair enough.
I assume the army guy motivated people by when they got down punching them in the stomach and telling them that when they learn to do it without being punched in the stomach, they'll have more fun.
That's exactly how it went.
He was actually very unmotivational. He just said, hey, here's a good idea. And they just did it. That was about it.
That's to respect the troops, Blaine.
Well, he's an Australian military.
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah. Who even knew they had an army? Am I right? Another name, and he gets screen time, I think, no matter what, is Huey.
Huey's great.
He's a trip, man, but I will say this. I think a little Huey goes a long way for me because he is I don't know if he does it on purpose, but he just hogs the screen or hogs the scene, if you want to call what they have conversationally scenes.
He's a potent ingredient in the dish that is our weekly challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He can kind of take over the meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I do sometimes he'll give a rejoinder, and it's like that's very entertaining.
He is good in those situations, but when he couldn't pull himself up, that was one. Like when getting out of there, I was like, man, how do you come on this show and you're not even able to do like a pull up or? I'm back on my soapbox of like, how can you come on the show and not run like a 5K? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Nat?
Oh, I was saying your 5K bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am. This is the last name I'll bring up, and if you want to mention anyone else, I am 100% all in on not only pulling for Horacio, but thinking he may win.
I think he's going to be one of the top contenders for sure, unless he gets sent home by CT or Jordan, for that matter.
Jordan would be tough for him to match up against. That's a good, they match up well. Did you see
Olivia?
I like Olivia.
I was just gonna say she may be tougher because Horacio already seems like he is comfortable going in. That he's gonna. Why would you vote for Big T other than just like almost a Jordan-esque, like I'm gonna do what I want regardless of if it's smart gameplay or not? There was no reason to do that. Olivia is a little more like strategic, and she's already proven that she was really, really good in that final last year until just that terrible injury.
Accident, yeah. It wasn't even.
Well, she kind of played their political game for Horacio too, because he was too emotional and too just like, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, and this is what I'm going to do because it's what I'm going to do. And she's like, no, dummy, play the game.
When you see someone do what Horacio does on this week's episode, how much of it do you take away and think, well, he had an idea and he kind of stuck with it and that was good, and how much is it that was dumb? I don't like how he's doing this.
Depends on how much I already like that person.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's pretty cool. Anyone else?
Oh, when are they going to put the contestants from the Golden Bachelor on the challenge? I'm waiting for that season.
That would be great.
That guy's getting a lot of spotlight.
That's not all he's getting.
Wink.
Big T crushed her elimination. That was fun to see.
She did. Probably the veteran in her got that, right?
Yeah.
It seems safe to assume that she had a leg up just with that particular elimination, having seen a lot.
Well, maybe she's not as soft as people assume she is.
Yeah. I think I'm still in the camp that she might be just a little bit. But
yeah, for sure.
I change my mind.
I mean, but
every
she's
week.
got a pretty strong elimination record, though.
Do you remember anybody she's eliminated that I would recognize?
I can't remember who, but I know that she, especially on one of the spy-themed ones where she was paired up with CT, like she went into 2 or 3 eliminations that season.
Oh, yeah.
So that means she beat some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not just she's not a layup. And she is, maybe she's playing it a little too loose right now, but she is really smart.
No, I don't think she's a layup. I wouldn't, but I don't think she's quite upper tier at all. But I found it really motivational kind of in a way that she decided, I'm going to take charge. I really do have the most experience here. Why not take the lead? Because you've never seen her do that a lot, or if she's tried to do that in the past seasons, people just don't let her. And then it flipped on her, of course, because they decided, if you're going to be the leader, then we're getting rid of you. Or if you've got the most experience, we're getting rid of you. Big T. Hey, shout out to Ben Flanagan. I had a good challenge conversation with Ben last night. If he's watching, shout out to Ben. He's been on our podcast before to talk challenge stuff. He's a fan. Final thoughts on anything challenge related or beyond? All right.
I said my piece.
I did too. We really need a few more episodes of this, I think. We even debated on waiting a week or two before we started talking a little bit more about it, but you'll hear more. Hopefully you're a challenge fan. Anyway, if you want more, we've got audio for you. You can just listen to a podcast like you would regularly.
Finally, I could rest my eyes.
Yeah, for real. You probably want to after looking at us. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you.